to be successful in business or in government in Japan, women have to be very strong. And so the women I've met who are at the high levels of Japanese society have very clear perspectives on what they want to do. They have, and they've had to work hard to get to where they are. This is not unlike many other countries, but I think Japanese women have had to work even harder in the business and political sectors because the Japanese society has been so traditional. So to break out of that, it's taken enormous effort. In my country, we still have many of the same challenges. We like to think that we have equality for women, but in Japan, for example, you still have maternal leave when a baby is born. We don't have that at the federal level in the states. And we like to think we have so many women in our Congress. Well, we have less than 20% still. So that's still more than Japan, but we share many of the challenges that our Japanese sisters have. I think that it's important for women to be fully integrated in the workforce in Japan, especially with the aging of the population and with declining birth rates in this country. I think for womenomics to be successful, you will have to have very strong programs for child care and for elder care. Traditionally in Japan, women have been the source of the family care, and if you don't have strong programs for that, even if a woman wants to work in an executive position or a high-level job, she can't if she can't find ways for her children to be nurtured and for her parents and her husband's parents to be nurtured. Also, I think that there's great concern in Japan, and correctly placed, about the ethos in the Japan workplace, where people work often till 10 o'clock at night. Obviously, a woman with small children or a man with small children should not need to work those hours. And I think that's something that the society as a whole will have to address. I think the first thing is you have to get a fully supportive spouse. I met my husband when I was in law school, and my husband was the person who encouraged me to run for political office. And he just didn't give lip service to that. He actually helped, took a very strong role in raising our two daughters. My daughters were ages 2 and 6 when I was elected to Congress, and now my daughters are 23 and 27, and very successful young women on their own. But I could not have done this without the active support of my husband. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is really women should have faith in their own abilities to do things and in themselves. And I think so often women, they don't see themselves in that role. You just have to overcome it and say, I think I can do this. I do feel a strong personal relationship to Japan, and in fact I went to Tachikawa on one of my first visits to Japan. It's now a beautiful park, and that made me feel very happy. I've led many trips here, and I've also come here on my own. And I think one of the most satisfying aspects is to bring my colleagues and to have them fall in love with Japan just as much as I love Japan. Because much of the time, Americans don't get the opportunity to come here. So when they come here and they meet the people and they see the society, they all fall in love. And so that's very satisfying for me, and something I enjoy very much. I've been coming here for about 15 years now, And I've seen a tremendous change in the way the Japanese-American relationship has developed, only for the good. When I first started coming, it was before Fukushima, and a lot of the Japanese were worried, what is the relationship with Japan? How does the U.S. view this country? And then, of course, with the terrible tsunami and the resulting effects, and the outpouring of support for Japan from the United States, I think that the Japanese realized that yes, we are still very strong partners and allies, and America cares greatly for Japan. When I travel in the U.S. and talk about Japan, I never meet anybody who has a bad thought about Japan. Everybody really does consider Japan to be a strong ally, both economically and strategically, and also great affection for the Japanese people. And I think that relationship has changed and developed. One of the benefits of a very tragic situation, I think. I think Sasakawa has been a very important catalyst in bringing the Japanese parliamentarians and the business community together with U.S. members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, House and Senate, and our staffs, both here in Japan and also at home in the U.S. This is so important to have these dialogues and to have them in a bipartisan way, because what we realize is that we have much more in common than we have opposed to each other. And whenever I lead a trip to Japan, it always strengthens congressional relationships across the aisle, as well as the Japan-U.S. relationship. So it's very special, and I really think only a nonpartisan private convener like Sasakawa could achieve that.